Pousey?
Hey, batch.
Hey, let's work on your mic just a little bit.
Not now.
Where'd you get that at?
I made it.
Please.
I'm trying to use it for a stand for this mic
Austin,
right now.
make it that high. Yeah, so guys, I was wondering, you know, like the thing.
It's like a boomstick.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
it looks like a limp dick, brother.
Why does that seem like that works? Why? Why does that seem
Yo,
like
it's
that works?
drooping?
Is it working? Can you hear me?
No, it's horrible.
Dude, you are so much...
It's so fucking good.
I want to try something out here.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yo, Brooks, you know what you could do? Let's go fuck myself. Yo, you know what it looks like? It looks like a makeshift fucking like underground jazz microphone.
Stop! Stop!
Alright,
Dude,
so
I
we're
wasn't
doing
prepared for this, man.
Invincible.
Invincible.
So
Who?
Invincible. So I guess we can start off. What was thy first thoughts of thy show?
It was animated.
What?
Like, very first thoughts?
Besides the animation
Oh.
of the series.
Oh, okay. Shit.
It was intense. It was like from the start to finish, like it was like one thing after another. Like,
Yeah.
fucking up like their version of the Justice League, and then that scene in itself made the whole show.
Wait, they did what now?
The first scene.
Derek's got some technical difficulty. 1 second.
Austin,
Yeah?
do you have notes?
I wrote some down just in case.
Fuck yeah, dude!
Is it bad to have
yeah.
notes?
No, it's just
Austin.
like Brooks was talking and like I don't want to mess that up. You just went.
Like,
Yeah, like that. He's like, oh, okay, same.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Sit right here just in case.
Can you spell it for Invincible?
Invincible.
Invincible. But yeah, what were we saying, Brooks, about it being intense? What's up?
Oh, it was just intense from start to finish.
Like, what was your initial reaction when he literally just fucking like falcon punched through everybody?
Dude, like, and then like he just punched through that guy and then ripped him in half. Or no, he ripped his head off and then
Well, basically, squeeze his head, right? Squeeze his head.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, you're talking about 3 of his kills here at the same time. You're talking about both fucking God, what's his name? What's that character's name?
Immortal.
Oh, yeah, Immortal. There you go. I almost called him Indomitable, and then I was like,
Indomitable.
yeah. So
It's not even a word?
well, yeah, Indomitable.
It's a
But
word.
then I remembered how he talked to that female character, like the hot girl kind of character. I was like, maybe he's domed. I don't know. I can't tell. But can we just say that motherfucker's the most OP son bitch I've ever seen? anything.
Superman better have to run for his money. Like Superman better watch out.
Oh no, Superman get his ass beat by that
Dude.
dude.
No doubt. This is like, it's like
dude.
no, there's not. It's not like
Fucking-
similarities. It's like it's him and then it's Superman right here. No
yeah,
way.
dude, fucking 2000s, no doubt. You know, like
So what's
Shit.
crazy is that I only read like the first issue of the comic before I watched the series because I had the first issue like when I bought it. But apparently this whole run, because it's written by Robert Kirkman, if anybody watching this doesn't know, but it runs for 144 issues. So I'm guessing that there's going to be other characters besides the Omni-Men that they must be as powerful as them or that can hold their own.
bro,
Ultra
did you
mites.
see that alien tiger dude or the alien lion guy?
Yeah.
Make sure that they're, they have enough
Yeah, they're
power.
protected. It was a civil fight. And he's like, "Oh, you don't know who I am? Let's have a talk."
And he reminds me of the dude from Thor Ragnarok, the goofy one inside the prison.
Yeah,
Where he's
Korg.
Yeah.
what's his name? Korg?
Korg.
For
yes.
whatever reason, like a personality reminded me of that, and he was just like, "Oh yeah,
Hi,
let's
I'm
have a
Korg.
chat."
Are y'all talking about the guy with
I'm
the
Rocks.
one-eyed dude? You're talking about the one-eyed guy?
No,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stone guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One eye guy.
Seth
Spencer's mine.
Rogen's character.
Seth Rogen's character? Yeah.
Dude, they got an all-star
when I-
cast for this shit, dude. Jonah Jameson.
Well, see, my first, because Omni-Man's probably the second scariest character that what you want to call him has played.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on one
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
J.K. Simmons.
There you go, J.K. Simmons. Because the first, have you guys ever seen Whiplash?
Yes.
Scariest fucking character he's ever played.
Scary dude.
The guy that just throws a chair across the room with the bro, I'm dead.
Ready? Okay. 5, 6, and.
What is that
But
from?
Whiplash. He's like
yeah,
he's like
it's got
a
Miles Teller in it, and he's a jazz band instructor and shit, and it's like a real dramatic movie.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And the dude like lays out
He's
F-bombs
like,
like 100
Are you
every sentence.
rushing or are you dragging? Like slapping the shit out of kids and stuff. But that was my first initial reaction was how star-studded it kind of was, or how well produced it was, and how star-studded it was. Because just top to bottom, I said, "Oh, they're in this?
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're in." Like characters that are
The
only
core
in it for
level
like
alone
half a
is
minute,
crazy.
bro. Like the whole series, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, go
Yeah,
get your bread. I don't
but
give a fuck.
I think with the all-star cast, I think how we got away with some of it is because some of them were from Walking Dead and Robert
Yeah.
Kirkman. So he probably said, "Hey, since I made you a star, could you do this for a little bit of a cheaper price?" I'm sure that's probably how it went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sandra Oh was my favorite Walking Dead character. That Grey's Anatomy doctor was my favorite Walking Dead character.
I didn't know you were talking about in the beginning, but then you said, I guess when you say Grey's Anatomy, I'm like, okay.
Don't worry, I'll clarify it for the ones in the back.
I can't stop. That's the only thing I remember from that show is her doing that shit.
I can't stop. Somebody sedate me!
I'm not gonna lie, I binge watched all 8 episodes in one night.
Same.
Yeah, last night when I got home at 11, I binge watched it, and I was probably up until 5 to 6.
I know
But
that.
it was because I couldn't stop.
Somebody sedate me!
I already knew all the hype before it all started, so I was kind of like, okay, I'll get to it when I get to it and shit. I already know it's gonna hook me. I'm gonna be hooked. I already know that. But once I started it, like I said, I couldn't put it down until I was done. I couldn't really just cut it off in the middle. And I think I told Austin about this during another podcast that we recorded one night where I saw the video of him versus the Guardians of the Globe on YouTube or on Facebook at one point. And I was really interested by what it was. I didn't realize that happened so early. And the fact that like you go into it knowing how he is or what he did, and then it's like a whole kind of mystery unravel, but it's not really like a flip twist or something or something to play on you. It's like, oh shit, how are they going to figure this out? Are they going to figure this out? Who all is he going to kill? Like, it did have a similar feeling to how The Boys feels. Like, if you've ever seen The Boys, kind of has a similar
I
feeling
haven't
to that.
seen
Like,
it yet. That's on my list to watch.
yeah, I haven't watched it all, but it's to a similar premise where like you know there's some shady shit going on, but you don't know who's doing it, how it's doing it, or who knows it. So it's like, shit, even the fucking government characters I enjoyed a lot.
I didn't know anything. The only thing I knew about the entire series was told from a friend saying that like I was told wrong that like the kid is supposed to be more powerful than the dad, because when I watched it and he killed everybody, I was like, well, fuck, now it's gonna be the kid's gonna have to find out, and then he's gonna have to whoop on the dad's ass. That ain't what happened. Not even the slightest. But you do see that the kid has potential, but I think that's only because he does not know how to harness everything yet. And I don't think the dad even knows that, you know, him being a hybrid, which usually in these types of shows or movies, usually hybrids or like demigods, they have more power, I guess, because I guess the way that their genes are mixed, it almost like gives them a boost of some sort. So I could almost see him being like a Kratos in the end, where it's like, yes, he's not, I guess, maybe not as powerful right now, but he probably actually is. He just doesn't know how to unlock it, because the entire time his dad is teaching him, and he doesn't realize how powerful he is until his dad starts teaching him more and more. So I'm thinking while his dad is off in the fucking distance doing his thing to bring his whole clan with him, he's going to, you know, build up and get more powerful in these next couple of seasons. So I'm wondering if like that first one, yes, go ahead.
You said clan, it's an empire, sir.
I knew it.
I'm going to need you to not disrespect it like that.
I knew
Carry
it.
on.
Boy.
Once he said that word, I looked right at you. I was like, is
I
he?
said,
Is he?
boy.
Is he gonna say it?
Boy. Don't give a shit. Anyways, yeah, I feel like either A, they're going to do it to where season 2 he's going to come back, or hopefully they do it to where like we know he's the big baddie, because obviously his empire is extremely powerful, probably the most powerful in all galaxies, all of everything. So maybe these next couple of seasons is just going to be other baddies that he's going to train to get more powerful, and then ending the series is going to be him killing his dad or some bullshit.
Yeah.
So essentially, to me, if his empire is described as like an empire of Thanos's, because no, I'm dead ass.
No,
they
I know,
go
but, that's
around,
why, but I'm thinking like, how the fuck are they gonna kill
yeah,
him?
when you think about it, dude, they're like, it's an empire of people that are just like, oh, we're just gonna kill half your people if you don't fucking like, oh, sorry, and then you can't stop them.
What's funny about that is like that's literally how they talk. Is he's like, I mean, I was like, I gotta kill half of y'all, and it's like, no, okay, just like
Bro.
just disintegrates everybody.
Bro, and it sucks because like, or it doesn't suck. It was amazing to see them do the things, because like you thought, or like you said, I expected the end fight to go a lot different.
Yeah.
Whenever Blake Grayson started like saving the pilots and shit, I was like, okay, this is where the tide changes. And then the fucking head explodes because he lands behind him. He's like, where'd I leave that other guy? And fucking takes off. Like, it's like the ultimate troll thing. He's like, you're dead. You're fucking dead. Oh, I'm going to beat my son's ass at the same time. And then because he kind of had to outdo what he did in the first episode, killing the Guardians. You couldn't really peak at that.
Yeah.
Like, with his power and his show of strength and shit. So, you know, him holding the motherfucker in a subway as you just see everybody get obliterated. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's pretty savage.
That was one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen in an animated series.
Yeah,
even in general, that was I was like, okay, he's gonna like hurt people, getting fucking disintegrated like goddamn flies. I was like, what?
Yeah, and the fact that it's mature enough to be like it, because I hate nowadays where people are like, oh, it's animated, it's got to be for kids. The way that they did it, where it's mature enough to be like, oh, I thought he's gonna save the woman and her kid in the apartment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh no,
No.
Literally holding her fucking arm.
Yeah.
Like it was so graphic that the whole time I was just like,
yeah,
my jaw stayed dropped the whole
yeah, but
episode.
I was so impressed with it all because like it felt true to the characters that it was building the whole time.
Yeah,
it wasn't a letdown for sure. So I was afraid that was going to happen towards the end. Like I was like, that's it. They just fight in the mountain. That's it. Oh, they kill everything. They go everywhere. This is basically, because it put into perspective to me, it felt like what Zod and Superman's fight would have been in Man of Steel if they showed death.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, like all these movies and shows we watch, we saw this all these battles going on, and we don't even know if anybody dies in the background or not. This
Yeah.
well, I mean, you don't see a lot of it if you
Yeah.
do or not.
Yeah, watch
But,
any
like,
Ben
in
Affleck
this-
Batman scene and tell me nobody's dying.
Well, I know, but they don't really show them dying.
Well,
This
you're
one, you
talking about
saw
people watching
blood like mist everywhere in every scene. So I mean,
Yeah,
that made it totally different to it, and it was
yeah,
it was
that's
actually pretty good.
and like
Realistic.
I mentioned the penthouse fight already with like Machine Head and shit and like the alien lion or whatever.
Mhm.
That happened out of nowhere. I figured it was going to be a minor fucking fight, and then all of a sudden these kids are getting their asses whipped, dying. Yeah,
come to find out, the
Ass's
fucking Immortal
Miracle
Lion
Whip.
is like pretty close to Omni-Man's power level. The fact that he's ripping motherfuckers apart.
Well, I think he's gonna make a return. Maybe not just him, but like another, like whenever they invade, he's gonna, because he did leave it with like, there's no honor in killing bugs or insects or some shit. So like he doesn't see them as a challenge, but this invasion he could see as a challenge, or he
Yeah.
sees that as like a targeted planet to like civilize or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I could see him
So-
coming back like after he realizes that, you know, Invincible's getting a little more powerful. He's like, okay, cool. Now he's you know, worthy.
Yeah, and I do feel like I don't know how like his training is just going to be amplified because the difference between Mark and his dad now, or Omni-Man, is just the fact that, like I said, Blake Grayson earlier. I'm so sorry, Batman. I'm a Batman fan. But Mark and his dad's so unhinged and like so unassociated with anything that no matter how strong physically Mark is, his dad's so unhinged it doesn't really fucking matter because he's willing to do something. Like he's still he has nothing to hold on to. Omni-Man doesn't, and Invincible was trying to like talk to him. Omni-Man was like, "Nah, fuck that." Like just flicked his ass across the mountain and
Yeah, everything's so insignificant. No.
Yeah.
The Omni-Man.
And dude, the dialogue in it, the storyline of how
Dude.
like his mom doesn't matter to him. I was getting the feel.
When he said it was a pet, when she was just a pet to him,
See,
Oh.
but, okay, I have a theory. I feel like he was saying that because he didn't really want to be like, "Fuck, I actually do love this chick." Because I feel like he knows that he's brainwashed from his planet, but he's also like, I can't give in because I don't know who's watching. There could be another one of my race in this planet right now watching me, and if they see me like loving my son or loving this fucking human, they're gonna kill me and kill everybody else here. So I feel like
because it shows weakness on him too.
He could have just ripped Mark apart 100%. He could have ripped him apart, but I feel like him punching and then speaking, he's like, "Why are you making me do this?" I feel like that was him calming himself down, being like, "Fuck, okay, I don't want to do this anymore," and that's why he just left. He was like, I could have easily, you know, did the little fight thing. He was toying with him the entire time. If he wanted to, if he really wanted to, and I think that's why he actually deep down probably does love him. So it's either going to be where he fights his son at the very end of the series, where he comes down with his people and then they start disintegrating everybody, and then it becomes a thing where him and his dad kill the rest of the other people, and then his dad just goes off in the distance and disappears. Now, if anybody watching this, if I did just spoil the entire series from the comics, I've never read them. I'm just thinking that makes more sense. And it could be completely wrong. Maybe his dad's like, "No, fuck your comics. I'm going to kill everybody." And that could be the end. I would laugh at the end of the series if, like, literally it's building up where, like, Invincible's just like, "Yeah, I can take him on." And then he's just like, "Nope." Just fucking rips him apart. And it's like, end.
Yeah. Well, just like how his name pops up. That's it. And then it just
that shit at first was kind of funny. And I was like, all right, God damn it. Can you please stop?
After I'm like, oh, that's where they put it in.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, but like you said, I feel like he's either wanting to take him under his wing, like he wants to put Mark with his people. He wants to do what's best for him because deep down he sees him as is it Viltrumite or Vultrumite?
Viltrumite, I think. Is it Viltrumite, Brooks? Okay.
Viltrumite.
Yeah, okay. Because he still sees him as blood. He still sees him as somebody for that culture. Everyone else, no. Maybe besides the wife and shit. He of course he still has feelings, but it strikes me as like a mission over relation kind of thing. And Mark might be trying to push into that a little bit. That's why he fled and left. But dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. What else could they have done? Even if he didn't kill Mark, didn't leave, what would they have done? He just walks home. He just
there was
what
no
are they gonna?
coming back.
Nah, I mean,
In fact,
I'm not gonna lie. I was
Start
afraid.
over at a different planet,
Exactly. I was afraid he was gonna send in the young teen group, and they were all gonna fucking die. I said, don't fucking send them.
Don't do that.
Don't send
Don't
them at
do
all.
that.
Yeah.
If he beats
just
the
got attached to all
Cthulhu
these
creature,
kids.
just leave the planet. Just fucking leave.
Just
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Who was the dude that was like that threw fucking that game back in the 1900s, the Jacks and shit like that? Like, who was the guy who was like Firestarter, or whatever the fuck his name was? And I was like, I would laugh if he's like, yeah, take these balls of fire, Omni-Man. I'm just like, okay, well, bye-bye.
Wait, are you talking about the dude with the explosions? Rexplode or whatever?
Yeah,
the fuck?
Rexplode, the guy who like was like fucking the fucking girl.
Dude,
The multi-girl.
can we talk about that? Does anybody else want to see what was going on in Eve's perspective with Duplicate and Rexplode in that shower? I want to see what position they were in. Like, because all I heard,
you're gonna have some sort of like constructive, idea, but I don't know. You're like,
No.
legitimately talking about them fucking.
Yeah, fuck no. All I heard was some gurgling sounds. I said, how many mouths are in there? Yeah, Jesus Christ.
How many holes did they use?
Yeah, I didn't know if he was in the
only has
Wisconsin
one thing for a
wheelbarrow with her
hole.
or what was going
Well,
on.
no, there's 3 different chicks or multiple chicks, and
Yeah,
he used
if was
multiple
giving her the
holes.
old Wisconsin wheelbarrow to both twins, I'd be like, God damn.
I'm gonna need you to explain to the entire crowd what a Wisconsin wheelbarrow is, please.
I'm
Don't
curious.
look it up. That's
See
for
what
a
it is
different episode there.
was.
Yeah. You're gonna look it up, everybody. Please put on a privacy screen or a
That's
privacy browser.
that's for Brooks's bedtime segment, okay?
Incognito.
Yeah, incognito FTW. Okay.
Clear that browser.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not gonna.
VPN.
So like,
This episode's sponsored by Shadow VPN or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't fucking know. Oh, Express VPN. It's not really. Please don't sue me, Express. Okay, thank you.
Express VPN.
but I
Not
found myself in a weird nostalgic like feeling with this whole show because me and Derek obviously loved all the old Justice League shows and everything, and every episode that they do where they would like deep dive into the characters a little bit more rather than it just be like a superhero show, they're like living their life and shit. It kind of felt a lot like that, a little bit more mature, but like even the episode where Mark is helping Stoneface in the projects and like trying to help him right before he goes up to the penthouse and fights the crazy aliens and shit for Metalhead or Technohead, whatever the fuck his name is. Even episodes like that where it kind of like takes you away from the main story a little bit and does like a little refresher. I felt a little nostalgic because it felt like one of those old episodes of Justice League or Justice League Unlimited where I felt more for a character because it looks like they're living their life rather than it just being like one diehard story and everything else is just kind of revolving around it. It feels like a fully fleshed out world just for 8 episodes. So the fact that they gave me that in 8 episodes and there's more to come, I am very upset that I have to wait.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, Brooks, what is what's one thing that you appreciated about this series? What's something that you would have liked to have seen?
I wish that Mark was developed a little bit more. Now, granted, I know he just got his powers and he's still kind of working on them, but I felt like if they would have had the fight between him and his dad a little bit more, less one-sided, it was like you thought that Mark was going to get an upper hand at some point, but that just never happened. Which, granted, it makes sense because his dad is just so much more stronger than he is and knows how to fight. But I think Mark, for the most part, is a relatively polished character. Just needs a little bit more polishing, but that will come with more episodes and just more storytelling. And I think since his dad is gone, that's going to give him more time to develop. And but as a whole, I enjoyed like what Jake said about it being nostalgic. It kind of brought back some of like those really intense Teen Titan episodes, like with Red X, like those Red X episodes were always intense.
Yes.
Slade,
Yes, sir.
It was Slade. Slade just made Teen Titans nightmare. Like they could not do anything to him until obviously the end. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched those Teen Titan episodes from like 2004. So
I only watched Teen Titans Go.
oh god. But yeah, that's what I like. I think that it's a very well written and well animated show. Pretty gory, but I think that was an added plus in my opinion. So
one other question for you. I know that this isn't like a stab at y'all watching anime, but as far as anime shows that you've watched, and Austin can answer too, what does this compare to as far as like gore factor? And I mean, besides like the story, I'm sure that there's others. Yeah, go ahead.
It's very light. It's actually pretty light.
Light compared to what y'all seen, really?
Yeah. I've seen some animes that are
You sick fucks.
way too.
Yeah,
I've been on
there's
that
stuff
side of
I've
the internet
seen
too,
that-
Brooks. There's nothing wrong with it.
For any of those anime weebs like me and Austin out there, they know the show Blood Sea. Blood Sea's one of them, and Elfen Lied is pretty intense.
Also another's a good one.
Austin, what was that one with the Goblin gangbang at the beginning?
Goblin Slayer.
Yes, Goblin Slayer.
Goblin gangbang.
Hey, that's how a coworker described it to me, so that's
This
all I
is-
have to
this
say.
is
And
where
if
you
know what I'm
input
talking
the-
about. Apparently, I'm not on.
Derek, this is where you input the Pornhub wrench.
Yeah, Brooks. Derek was
He's
trying to
writing
give
it
you some
down.
shit. Derek was trying to give you some shit, but I said I've been to that side of the internet too, man. There's nothing wrong with
What do you mean? Write that down, Austin. That's one of my sound bites, bitch.
That is, that's right. You're right.
Yes, sir.
And it's the "What are you doing, step bro?" You goddamn right.
See,
That's
but
awesome.
like Brooks just said, that would make a lot more sense for them, like preparing for the future. Because I kind of said I don't know how he's going to train for his dad to come back because he's still got his ass whipped. If there was a part of the fight where like he got the upper hand for a second right before Omni-Man just went unhinged again and regained control, like where he's like, "What the fuck?" and then he like beats the fuck out of him again, that'd be different. Because if Cecil saw it, then he'd be like, "Oh." Like they put all their investment in that rather than building the 1,800 robots doing the other bullshit. Like they have hope in one thing at least. That, like what Brooks said makes sense, like for sure. But I'm sure they'll find a
speaking
way.
Speaking of how you're talking about, because Cecil's the Scarface guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the end, when he's saying like, whenever I think he brings down Invincible in like his little lair, he's like, "Only you can see what I let you see," or some bullshit or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So you know how they had his blood, Omni-Man's blood? I'm thinking he's gonna make a whole bunch more of Invincibles.
Yeah.
Or he's gonna use that as a serum to make more Invincibles, and that will be used to fight whenever Omni-Man's people come back. So maybe that's what it's doing. Because I mean, if they have his blood, they can probably duplicate it.
They also had Immortal in that room too.
Right.
Yeah,
so they could also give the blood to him too.
So,
Oh, speaking of Immortal, I was going to bring this up like randomly, but thank you for bringing it in all genuine. So I was reading up some things about Immortal, like just basically just some random facts. So of course
He's immortal.
Yeah. So of course he's been around for thousands of years, but I guess this is part of his origin story, is that he has fought as a knight for King Arthur and also impersonated President Abraham Lincoln. And he was one of the first publicly known superheroes in the 1930s. Superhero, yeah, all the superpowers. But I thought that was pretty funny that that's one of his traits, that he impersonated Abraham Lincoln.
Wow.
well, because
it did show.
He kind of looks like it.
Being
Go ahead.
immortal.
What's up?
What's his other superpower other than being immortal?
Strength and flight, and his primary ability is immortality. Yikes, not really.
I mean, technically, he's still immortal. Well, yeah, I guess he's still
You gotta
immortal.
put him back together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like Wolverine where he heals, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's immortal.
Maybe
Well,
not
imagine if he had
like
healing
Deadpool.
factor, then that would be yeah. I bet you if they gave him healing factor, then it would just be pointless to have like Omni-Man, because Omni-Man, I don't think Omni-Man is immortal, because as you can see, whenever he was killing his weaklings on his planet, he was just ripping those people apart, and I mean, of course, they're not going to come back together.
Yeah, they all died.
Yeah.
Dude, the
Yeah, no shit, Austin. They were all
entire
piled
alien
up like a pile
planet.
of shit. What were we saying, Brooks?
That scene where he goes and fights that entire alien planet.
Oh
and
yeah, just
pretty
because
much
they
drops
pissed
their
him
entire
off.
satellite and
Yeah.
just like kills them all. Like,
Like literally, just because they pissed him off, like that's like if you went to Burger King and they put mayonnaise on the
also,
and he kills an entire family.
Well, also, I don't know if you caught it, but it's a with the dialogue he says he does it for a reason. He says this is not your planet to conquer, so he basically
Right.
fucks that whole planet up because that's his planet to conquer.
Yeah.
That's the whole point with it, is he's kind of like deterring other races. That's why he's technically a protector. Is he's the only one that calls dibs on this motherfucker.
Right.
Right. But I mean, but I can't remember. Did he give them like an ultimatum, or is he just like, I'm going to because you guys tried to invade it?
Oh, you talking about the alien planet?
Yeah,
no,
like I can't remember.
no,
I
he
can't
just
remember
straight
if.
up destroyed
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. Like he's just straight up like, "Hey, this isn't y'all's. This is actually mine." If it was like that, I would understand. If they were like, "No, fuck you, we're gonna kill it." Looks like I gotta kill you. Yeah.
Well, because I think he killed all of them until they just gave up, or killed half of them, and then he was like, "Okay, you learned your fuck." Because it still showed the main alien still alive.
At the end where he was
So-
like, he was
so
like,
he-
"Let me up, or you're gonna die."
Yeah, he probably just caused mayhem until they were like, "Holy fucking shit, we're done! Stop, leave us
Yeah.
alone!" Like, but can we just talk about the sound or the music in this and like the soundtrack of the whole thing? Because every fight scene, every moment of it, I was hype as fuck.
So
I'm about to make a whole Invincible playlist.
See, speaking
Yeah.
of the music, another fact is the let me bring it down real quick, which is pretty
It's
cool.
straight fire.
It is fire hot flame. I will say that. Let me go back down to the where I read this. It's
Is this a
not on
Hans
this one.
Zimmer?
so the music
Yeah, Hans
producer,
Zimmer's in here just
the music-
rapping.
the music producer for this is actually from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The same person who does
Okay.
all the
Oh,
MCU
dope.
stuff. He got hired on for this. So that's why the music is fucking popping.
I was about to say, because like it made me want to do a whole playlist of just the soundtrack that it had in every episode. Because shit was just kind of fire. I
It
ain't gonna
was.
lie
It was
to you.
really
Like,
good. The whole entire series, I think, was done well. It sucks that it's only 10 episodes, but then I'm also like, I'm glad that it's only 10 because if you were, is it only 8?
It's
Okay.
8.
Okay. I think am I thinking of Jupiter's Legacy? I can't remember. But
Probably.
but yeah, I mean, like even 8, I think is good because I feel like if he would have done like a Walking Dead season or episode 22 or some shit, I feel like it would get stale in the middle because I feel like them being like, all right, it's straight up in your face. Omni-Man can kill anybody who fucking wants to. He's gonna kill the off-brand Justice League, and then he could literally kill anybody he wants to. And it's like, oh god, this person's getting ripped apart. What the fuck's happening? I feel like some people may not like that because it's all up in your face, but I feel like that's the whole point. It's like, we're not fucking around with this character. This isn't like a lead up to where you're like, oh, Omni-Man's just like Superman. And then at the end, you're like, I never would have thought that he would kill people. That's why at the beginning, you're like, all right, cool. We're going to make sure you guys know he's an asshole. That's it.
Yeah. And I'm
For sure.
and how I need to ask you guys this: how did you all feel about the pacing of all 8 episodes? Like to get to the crescendo of everything, did you guys feel comfortable with the pacing, or was it a little draggy, a little fast, or what?
Go ahead, Austin. You haven't got to talk a little bit, so go ahead.
Well, I know that they had to like introduce a lot of characters because I mean there was a lot of characters to throw in 8 episodes. So I mean I think it was paced pretty well. I mean you had to like introduce each superhero and the relationships to each person. I mean especially with like his Mark's girlfriend that got mad at him for not telling the truth. So like having those
Like
stories,
5 times.
yeah.
That bitch was.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was
I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
cunt. No, it's okay. No, I agree. But no, I was saying that like having a lot of people in that amount of episodes, it doesn't make sense for it to be paced like that. So I mean, that's my opinion.
Go ahead, Brooks. I'm interested.
Oh, like Austin said, it started off pretty like trying to build everything up, but then once he's eliminated the entire superhero core, it was game on after that. It was like fast, and it slowed down for like a portion from like episodes 4 and 5 and maybe 6.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of 6, 7, and 8, dude, it was like back up to speed again, like but even faster. And it was It was like,
Yeah, if you
full
want to
on-
like kind of, I mean, there's probably some good scenes in there, the fighting scenes, like stuff like that, from 3 to 6 or 3 to 5. But if you want to skip that and just go 1, 2, and then 7, 8, you get all those like big ass like fights, and you can like it has more of the story to between the mom, I mean the son and the father, if you want to do that. But I mean,
And the Holy Ghost. Sorry, I
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Well, see, the only reason why I asked that because I was afraid that they were going to do the final episode like a lot of series do, where it's only the big battle, and then you don't have time to really like sit in it.
yeah,
Boy, they split that battle up into both episodes, 7 and 8.
yeah.
And then, like, because I thought after he flew off, I was like, well, shit, now I got to wait till next season to find out. Nope, and then I saw that I still had like 20 minutes left. I said, oh, thank
Yeah,
God. Now I get to see how these characters react to this shit.
yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Like, I was so, pleased.
That's how you do it. That's how you
Yeah,
do it.
because it left me wanting more, but it didn't leave me with like, well, shit, I hope they don't screw that up after, like,
Yeah.
I wasn't curious or wondering. It was, oh man, I was so pleased with it just because like I got some closure, but I also want more.
yeah,
if you think, okay, so that kind of brings up like Robert Kirkman. So what, regardless of what people have to say about Walking Dead, take away the zombies and let's say it's a post-apocalyptic show. It is a fantastic drama show. The reason it gets shit on is because the main premise and the focus on it at the beginning was zombies. What people aren't realizing is that it's been years and years, so zombies are deteriorating as far as how many are in the earth. So that's why you're getting just more, faction versus faction. So when it comes down to just like straight drama and then really exploring characters, the fact that Robert Kirkman can do that in an 8-episode fucking thing, and like the fact that we know, like, I didn't watch this show, or I watched the show last week and I still know a little bit. It's hard to do that for a show when it's 8 episodes and it's something you didn't really follow. Whereas like Walking Dead, I could watch the entire series and I wouldn't know everything because there's so much content. I think you did perfect by making it 8 episodes. Yes, they were 40 minutes long, but I feel like the animation added to it. Whereas like if they try to do a live action, it would probably be really cool to do a live action, not gonna lie. But I feel like them sticking to animation on it really kept. But basically what I was getting at is that like Robert Kirkman is great, and I think that people need to realize that the whole drama thing, that him building up the characters, he's a fucking genius at it. And I think I think this shows.
Because The Walking Dead, the monsters, instead of the zombies started out being the monsters, but then the survivors became the monsters.
yeah.
And it slowly
they were
showed the
worse than
deterioration of
zombies.
humanity. Yeah.
They
And
were
the
way
fact that
worse
he's
than
able to
zombies.
explore that is beautiful, especially in this.
I didn't even
Um,
think about the fact that they're decaying over time. The zombies were. I always thought because when you hear Walking Dead, it's just all or nothing with zombies. But you're right. I mean, the more shows you watch, the more seasons you watch, you're seeing less zombies and more like factions, more people trying to kill each other.
And I love how it's depicted. I mean, of course, this could be a whole nother, whenever Walking Dead ends, we could do a podcast on that. But I love how that zombies are depicted as like not technically evil. They're just things that they didn't have a choice in it. Whereas like it's showing that the people on the show have a choice to be evil. Just like on an Invincible, the dad, he had a choice. He could have killed Mark. He 100% could have. But he was like, man, fuck. This motherfucker made me feel feelings. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see. And because he cried too. I mean, that's the other thing. Is that Omni-Man did cry.
The one lonely man tear, bro.
And I bet you that fucking tear. I bet you that tear, if it's
tear.
dropped from the fucking earth, I bet it can destroy the earth too. So
It's like a meteor.
he was probably like, oh fuck, I gotta get up here and dry it in the fucking space so it doesn't kill this planet yet. But yeah, I mean, like, it's just great storytelling, man. It's if you took away the superhero shit and it was just like a dad just being like an evil person at night or something, and his son was trying to like turn him back, I'm sure Robert Kirkman can come up with some shit like that. I mean, it's just it's all around good storytelling, great writing, just great cast. Oh man, the cast. Oh man,
The cast is good.
Yeah, they found some good people in there. Good people.
And the final battle where Eve and Mark are showing up and Omni-Man's taking on the tentacle monster from the internet. And Mark starts helping out his dad. The
It's a
whole time
senpai
I was like,
monster.
no, stop fucking fucking stop, let him die, fuck him. And then he's like, Dad, I'm here to help. And they're fighting together. And like,
Yeah.
I felt like I was in the war room with Cecil and all them, just kind of like, what the fuck is he doing? Oh shit. Oh no. Like for you to be able to get me to experience something like that, like we said, in only 8 episodes, and then kind of close that chapter of the story, but make me want to read more or listen to more, etc. Fucking job well done. Like you did your job, you succeeded, because you can take my money. I will go to a theater and watch this series right now, basically, if that's the case.
I got a question for all y'all.
Fuck no.
So, yes. Okay, so you know how Cecil was underground watching the whole, fight against the tentacle monster from the from the internet. So that whole time it's going down and they're underground. I have a theory on it. Where do you think that's located?
Underground?
Area 52.
I think it's located on a different planet.
The moon.
The only reason I think it's located on a different planet is because he knows how powerful Omni-Man is. So if Omni-Man wanted to, he could just fly through the earth and find him. Yeah. So why wouldn't he? And he could have his barriers all he wants. He could break. He knows Omni-Man can break through it. So it's either A, hiding in plain sight, or B, it's on some different fucking planet or something.
Yeah.
Or it's something where it has like a thing where it's covering it, making it invisible.
I could see it being like a dimension. Well, because like it's never really explained how they get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you saying that doesn't really, because I was trying to think, like when I made that face, I was like,
I mean the fact that he has a fucking device to make him teleport.
Yeah,
I mean it would make sense. That's what I'm saying.
Fucking Damien Darkblood. It wouldn't surprise me, since they introduced a character from hell like that with powers like that.
Yeah,
for them to have some knowledge of something extraterrestrial or something supernatural, to where they can just like either be in a different dimension or have some magical shit that just deters them from being seen, found, etc. So that makes sense.
And what wasn't it kind of explained? Like, weren't they kind of hinting that like Damien is probably on the same power level as Omni-Man? Because because Omni-Man, Omni-Man could have killed him, but he didn't.
I'm surprised that motherfucker didn't die whenever he was crying and investigating.
Needed somebody for a scapegoat. He needed somebody.
Yeah, I get it.
But see, that's the other thing too. It's that like, I get what he's trying to do, so that way he can, get everybody to just obey. But why would he care if it wasn't his scapegoat? What is Cecil gonna do? Like, what? They can't arrest him. So like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, either Darkblood, or maybe someone, the ruler of his world, the underworld, maybe that person is like more powerful than Omni-Man or whatever. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of shit they can get into. I mean, 144 issues. I feel like I want to read it, but I feel like I don't, because I kind of want to be surprised about what the fuck's happening. So I'm gonna try to refrain from watching. Go ahead, Brooks.
On those
reading
144 issues, are they finished? Is it
Yeah, series is done.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, when I read up on it, is that it has 144 issues and they finished the story.
Okay.
Yo, even before this show came out, real quick, Jake. Even before this show came out, the first issue of Invincible was going for like $2,800.
Oh yeah, no,
even before.
It's popular.
And the reasoning though is because it's Robert Kirkman. People didn't know about it for the longest, so at first it was going for like $150. And I remember seeing it for $150, by the way, at a vintage stock, and this was like 7 years ago. And I was like, what the fuck is Invincible? And then I come back like a couple years later, and this thing is like, it's on sale for $1,500. I'm like, what the fuck? And they're like, oh yeah, Robert Kirkman wrote it. I'm like, I should have bought that shit.
He had that idea of this show back when he was like 23 years old.
Makes sense. He's a psychopath.
Yeah, he just he just wanted to wait though, because he knew how he wanted to be that gory. So he probably had to wait long enough for it to be allowed.
And going back to the gore question you asked me earlier, Derek, about comparing to this and like anime show, and I said it was light. It's actually it's not light, obviously,
right?
But like it's like seeing eyeballs pop everywhere and like intestines going everywhere. Like that was That's Robert Kirkman to a T. Like it's
I'm not gonna lie,
It was-
it got me a little hard.
yeah, especially whenever like kids and like.
Well, okay.
That
Well,
was
let's not go from me saying I got hard and then you just talk about kids. Can we not?
Hard, yeah, dude. And the kids, fucking no, but like,
That's not
Right.
if I was 10 years old and Dragon Ball Z was just fucking throat punching people's spines out and just fucking
Dude,
ripping
that-
testes off.
Krillin gets destroyed. I mean,
Yo, can
Like,
you
if
imagine that though,
Goku-
guys? Fucking like fucking gory, dude. Gory Dragon Ball Z though, that'd be pretty fucking
Dude,
sick.
It would be
That would be
fucking
kick
lit.
ass.
It'd be-
Yeah.
I just want to see the homie Krillin kill everybody like that. bro.
Hell yeah.
I want him
destructo
to
disc
fucking
everybody.
send his cue ball head ass right through everybody.
Isn't it explained that his destructo disc can go through anything, right?
Yeah.
Even the gods, right? Couldn't it technically go through them if it hits them?
Technically, it could if it hit him.
Beerus
But
has
that's
no-
weird
has no
because like if a
chance.
spirit bomb can't hurt fucking purple-headed yogurt slinger dude who came down to fight him, like how would it destruct? Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's because like Krillin is like the squishy character. He can't take a punch, but he has an OP fucking destructo disc, but it doesn't go very fast. It's like ha.
Bruce was telling me that he's like the strongest human in the.
He's
in
the strongest
series.
human on the planet in Dragon Ball.
Oh, Krillin is
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Everybody
And
else
like
are-
if you think about it, all the main characters are all aliens.
Right.
They're all from different planets and everything. Well, Krillin grew up fighting with Goku, hence why he's the strongest human on the Earth. No, aside from Master Roshi, but Master Roshi he's old.
Yeah.
But, anyway, but Krillin is the strongest human character in Dragon Ball.
Whoa. Person.
Oh,
Person.
Whoa.
Doesn't
Treading
matter male or
dangerous
female here,
waters
guys.
there, buddy.
Person. Strongest person. Okay. All right. Anyways, go
Oh,
ahead.
yikes.
Strongest thing on Earth. I'm
Good.
gonna be honest with you. I don't think Omni Man, because the whole time seeing him how OP he was, I was just like, man, how would One Punch do against Omni Man in like a comparison battle? And then I was like, probably One Punch Man would probably beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, because in that one, like at least in this one, they made. I mean, in the comics though, I know that people were a little upset because they said that Omni-Man shouldn't have even taken any damage, because in the comics it shows him where he brings, like, they say Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if that actually means like the real Guardians of the Galaxy or if that's just what they're calling it in there. But basically,
Guardians of Globe, yeah. Guardians
well,
of
no,
Globe
but I
or
read on
whatever
here it
the
said
fuck.
Guardians of Galaxy. I mean, I think they meant Globe. But anyways, all the
Yeah.
Guardians of the Globe that were brought in, he legit just like, they were all lined up and he just like went in a circle and disintegrated them. He took like no damage. And in this one, he took damage, from what is it, Red Streak? I think is what they called him,
Yeah,
which is literally what they call.
Red Rush or whatever.
Oh,
I
yes,
think.
yeah, Red Rush. I was like, Red Streak is fucking Flash, is what they call him at first. But how do they?
Yeah,
not get
the
in trouble?
streak, the red.
Yeah. But yeah, so like that one was cool too. People were like, it's like, why did he take so long to crush his head? I'm like, that's not taking long. That's he literally went like that. But you're seeing the perspective of Flash technically taking it, and you feel it every second. He literally felt his body just disintegrating, and he was the only one that probably felt it besides Immortal. What was funny is that it really showed, when people said like if Superman wanted to, he just punch her. He just literally went like that and just got disintegrated. I'm so glad it wasn't like he threw him on the ground and he was like, ugh, batarang. It's like he was just like, yeah, I don't think so.
I'm Darkwing. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Batman
man.
would have dodged all of that shit.
Of course he would.
Goddamn right.
But yeah, One Punch Man versus Omni-Man. I mean, honestly, if you like, unless, like I said, I haven't read the comics, like all of them, so I don't know if they make Omni-Man where because like the fact that he has, it's not like Superman's thing where like Superman, like all their people are technically either like in their eternity or whatever, or either dead. Omni-Man's people are just half dead, so he has millions of other people like him, and I'm sure that there's probably like a king or an emperor that's even stronger than him.
Yeah, I don't think Omni-Man's the strongest, but I'm
No.
just saying, like, which is scary. But,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
you know,
surprised that Omni-Man is a relative of the strongest king that's ever been on that planet.
I could see that. I'm gonna laugh though if he's like the weakest of the strongest.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You thought I was strong? Yikes!"
Oh, I'm the runt of the litter.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Fucking all you see is them show up and a Dwayne Johnson looking fucking vulture bite just pulls up. And he fucking climbs up. Ugh. You absolutely suck. Like, yeah, Brooks giving the eyebrow and shit.
Oh man. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know
What is your name? My name's Invincible.
It doesn't matter.
Oh shit.
So, what was the guy's name who played as Mark again? What's his name?
Stephen Young.
Yeah.
Young.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking. What's her name? Sandra Oh or whatever. But yes,
So-
that dude's Glenn from Walking Dead.
Right, and you could tell. Yeah, you could tell. Sorry.
He's
No, I
having
was
a
saying
Jake
like
moment. Oh no.
he was doing so like that scene where he got plummeled to death, almost to death by his dad, and he's there just like breathing, trying to breathe. Sorry. What I'm saying is that he actually did really good acting because he got beat the shit out of in Walking Dead.
Okay.
That's what's good.
Okay.
But what you don't understand is he actually got beat the shit out of in the booth.
Yeah, that was all. That was part of the process. Robert was like, "Steven, yeah, do you remember the scene where you got killed off and Negan came in? Yeah, that's gonna need to be IRL for the Invincible." What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Robert Kirkman is so fucking method that he genuinely hired somebody up to beat the shit out of him in the booth just so he could get the blood gurgling sound. Just
had to use that bat with all those nails on it.
yeah, he's just holding the mic to him like, "Steven, can you do that one more time for me, Steven?"
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Give it up for Steve. Oh shit! 911.
We're actually losing him. Oh, shit.
I still have you.
Oh my fucking god! What did at the end of whenever at the end of his scene he's like, "I'll find you" or some bullshit. I'll find you. And it's like, no, you won't. You're dead.
You fucking thought
you're dead, bro. What are you talking about?
Dead back.
Yeah, the whole time Robert Kirkman's like, "Your career is over," and he's like, "I still have you." Like, yes, that's how they got the sounds.
Yeah.
Yo, what's funny is there was an episode of Jimmy Fallon where they were doing like this Jeopardy style bullshit with him, Robert Kirkman. It was either that or it was Talking Dead, and they said, "Tell me something that's in the comic, but's not going to happen in the show," and he goes, "Okay," it was something like that where it was worded like, tell us something that may or may not happen that won't happen. He goes, "Okay, Glenn's gonna get his head smashed in by Negan by Lucille to a bloody pulp." He's like, "So it's not gonna happen?" He goes, "No," and then he fucking did it. So people were like, "Why did you fucking tell people?" He's like, "That's because I didn't want people to suspect it. That's why I did it." So,
but technically,
because that's what happened in the comics, and people were like, "Oh, Glenn's gonna die." He goes, "No, we're not doing that." And then when they did it, they're like, "How could you?" It's like, shut the fuck up.
Well, they weren't originally going to, but
yeah,
fucking Rick Scroot broke the rules, and Negan had to teach them a lesson.
Well,
and,
technically, Daryl got them killed.
Yeah, the first one was free, but the second one.
Yeah. Daryl got Abraham killed, and then Rick ultimately got Glenn killed. Mm-hmm. I still think they should have killed Maggie and just hit the baby, had the baby come out, smash the head. That'd have been sick, dude. Kick ass. Roll it.
Didn't see that, did you?
Please. This left me with a hunger to see more, and they did a really fucking good job from top to bottom, producing, acting, writing. I felt for all the characters in the show, even Rexplode and Eve's relationship. Don't ask me why, but fucking I felt for this show top to bottom in 8 episodes more than I felt in a lot of shows since most of my favorite shit has ended. And so I guess I have not looked up anything on how soon the second and third season will be coming out. I know they signed for 2 more seasons confirmed. So I don't know when those are happening, but they could take my money. I already bought popcorn. I'm waiting. So
So I'm not saying this as a joke, but I know how you said you haven't felt something like, this for a show in a while. How does it compare to, and that's probably a dumb question because they had more seasons. How does it compare to you? Not Supernatural. How does it compare to you?
Okay,
because Supernatural, honestly, like nothing will
it's
ever
garbage.
compare to that.
It's garbage.
It sucks. How does it compare to Game of Thrones for you? Because I know you love Game of Thrones.
Okay, so I can compare this very strongly.
How about this? How does it compare to Game of Thrones? Let's forget about the last season.
Okay.
Or if you liked it, whatever.
Well, I'm gonna compare it in both ways. Where it is very similar in making me feel for characters I didn't think I would feel for. It is very similar for me to want to be detail oriented and see and hear everything. Kind of like how in Invincible they were at the soup kitchen helping other people's out, and it was a character that wasn't invincible. I was still infatuated with that. However, this gave me the satisfying ending that I craved, that I already explained to you guys, where I saw closure, I saw everything happen postpartum of what happened. Game of Thrones did not do that.
But Dragon happened. Dragon came down.
Well, yeah. Dragon burned city down, everybody died, and then split off like nothing happened. Okay, here we go, people. Like that's what Game of Thrones basically did.
And scene.
Yeah. And it sucks because as somebody like Lord of the Rings, of course it's a little cheesy, but I got closure. I saw all those character stories basically end how I wanted them to end, etc.
Right.
Game of Thrones is kind of like they took the shit that George R.R. Martin did, where it's like, oh, some people die in real life before their story's over. Sorry. And they just like, oh yeah, bet, fuck you, like just set shit on fire. Like so it's like, okay, I didn't mean to invest half a fucking life trying to see what happened to these guys. All right, bet, cool, fuck it. Half of the Game of Thrones cast is in Immortal or in the new Marvel shit coming out. I can't remember the.
Like you're talking about the new phase?
Yeah, not the Immortals, but the
Eternals.
There you go. There's
That's
another
right.
word.
That's right.
Yeah, because they got Kit Harington and all them in there. But yeah, so like I was saying, where this show, especially with the pacing and everything like that, it compares very similarly until the end. The ending they did so much better with so much little time. Instead of rushing what they 150 out of the 166 pages into 8 episodes, they gave you a small sample, made you want more, and they're gonna bring it back. Game of Thrones could have done 10 to 12 seasons. They didn't. The writers wanted to do something else, so they ended it. That's where it really fucked up.
Yeah.
But, that's just my opinion. So, yeah, that was mainly what I was closely comparing it to, with me being kind of satisfied finally for some shit that I've been disappointed on for a while. So
now, Brooks, I'm not entirely sure what your favorite TV show of all time is, but you can go and tell us, how does this compare to it? Now, I'm not trying to say this is like the greatest show of all time. The reason I'm asking is to kind of compare the fact that, I'm not saying Game of Thrones is Jake's favorite series of all time, but I'm probably sure it's up there as some of his favorites. So the fact that he's giving this recognition of something that like he didn't really know about too much until he like saw a fucking episode or a YouTube thing. How does it compare to you, like as far as like some of your favorite stuff, like the writing, all that stuff?
Well, for a long time, Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah,
was a big show that really got me into TV shows. Like really, that and Justified, both of one of my favorites. Oh
shit, man, bringing up all them goddamn memories.
And so, like those FX shows were just top notch back in the day. I mean, they still are kind of, but not as big as those guys.
Yeah.
But like ranking it on, it's definitely up. Invincible is definitely up there with those guys, because I feel like with what we still have left in store, and the way character development is hopefully is going to be the same kind of output as it was in the first season. I think that we've got a lot of good show left to watch. Like just kind of like those shows where like you're just hungry to keep going and going and going. And Sons of Anarchy just went out with a bang.
Yeah,
that's bang up. And I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody because you go and watch it. But trust me,
I thought he was saying he wasn't gonna spoil Invincible. I was like, we've done that for an hour and a half.
Can we not bring up Sons of Anarchy?
I'll save people some other stuff, some other stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, I enjoyed it. It's up there with those guys.
What about you, Austin?
I'm gonna compare it with Breaking Bad.
Okay. Oh wow.
Really? Fucking nerd.
Yeah. You're gonna compare this to Breaking Bad? Okay. Breaking Bad's in my top 5. So let's hear this.
That is actually it's in my top 5 as well. I think it's like number 1 or 2.
I still haven't seen it.
Yikes.
Well, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just saying.
I see the shirt there, but
I was just hoping you'd be like, "Oh, Batman," but obviously you don't
like
Batman.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said beforehand.
We got him.
I thought you said
we got him. Everybody, fake fucking fan.
Well, I thought you said something.
He don't care. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, I'm just jealous that I don't have the shirt. But oh God.
Hey, Austin, you're not supposed to deep throat your mic. You're supposed to stay outside your mouth.
My name is Austin, and I like to go to the store.
Is that my girlfriend's an axe murderer?
But yeah, Austin, go ahead. What did this show and what aspects of it compared to Breaking Bad for you?
I think that every season from Breaking Bad at the end always.
Oh, and don't spoil it because I really do want Jake to see the show.
No, yeah,
I haven't watched it yet. Unfortunately, I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's definitely a go-to see. But no, I think from every ending of the seasons, always like made you want, like what Bruce was saying, it made you hungry for it. Like you just want more and more. And at the end, you are satisfied at the end, but you just can't wait for the next season. So
fuck yeah.
So I always think that like compared to those two, I would just say like I said, how much you get excited for each season because it answers a question to it, and then it gives you a little bit of a like hint for the next season. So and I would say like that's kind of the same thing for me with this show. So yeah, I mean, again, I still think Breaking Bad is still way up there in my list. I love that show, and I always try to convince because my fiance hasn't seen the show, and I keep trying to get her to watch it.
Finally, after all of these episodes, you have gone from Beth, you have gone from the girl, you have gone from girlfriend, now she's finally fiance. How long have y'all been engaged?
I'm pleading the fifth.
Look at him blushing, dude. Look at that.
Shit. Oh, shit.
I can't wait to see Derek try to compare this to Scrubs. Go ahead, Derek.
Yes.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will hurt forever.
Yes. Or How I Met Your Mother.
All right, I'll give it to you. That was a good one. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I haven't given you one almost this entire podcast series. I'll give you one on that. All right. Just because I'm in a good mood today, I'll give you that one. That's fine.
That was good.
So anyways, how JD and Turk and Dr. Cox from
It's a guy love between two guys.
There's Young Man and Mark.
See, really, like I have, like my top, like my thing of favorite shows is probably like top 20 of favorite shows. But comparing all of them, like Scrubs and all that, like kidding aside, those are more or less, they are story. Like it does have like a very deep story to it, but that's more or less like almost kind of not really. I guess
like
you can
chill.
Well, not really chill, but you can kind of compare it to like how Supernatural is. Like Supernatural, honestly, I would say just how Ready to Rumble is my favorite movie of all time. I would say Supernatural's either top 3 or if not 1, depending on my feelings. My feelings. But like, I know the ending.
It's fucking over.
But how this show is, I'm kind of upset, but glad he brought it up when he compared it to Sons of Anarchy, because Sons of Anarchy, Brooks, has been like before I watched Breaking Bad, I watched Sons of Anarchy, and how I got into that is that me and Austin, and I think you as well, we watched the series premiere. And like from the first episode, we were like, "This is the show. This show is fucking awesome." And then from there, awesome. I think we all watched like the first season, second season together, stuff like that. But yeah, it compares like up to like Sons of Anarchy, Breaking Bad. Like it compares to those. And I think the writing, like again, it's Robert Kirkman. I mean, like I said, you could take away the zombies from Walking Dead. It could just be a post-apocalyptic show, and it would still do just as well. So if it didn't have the writing, I think it could even get away with having like a B-rated cast, because Robert Kirkman is still the front man. You can have all these all-stars, but if you don't have a Tom Brady leading the show, you ain't gonna fucking win the championship. That's all I'm gonna say. I know that people have thoughts about Tom Brady. I'm just making an analogy here.
I don't hear you making football analogies or Tom Brady analogies like that.
It just kind of came up. It just kind of came up only because it's like I'm just trying to. If you don't have a fucking Wayne Gretzky, you ain't gonna win the championship. Let's put it that way, okay? If you don't have a Wayne Gretzky, you ain't gonna win. You could have all these fucking all-stars, but you don't have someone leading the fucking people to the. I'm trying to come up with a cool analogy to make me seem cool, but I can't. Leading them to the Walmart to get the Hostess cakes. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Leading them there, the ding dongs and the bing bongs inside your mouth. Whatever the fuck it may be.
Yeah, bro. Ching bong bing. I feel you. Let's go.
Okay. Okay. Anyways.
What was that?
I lost my train of thought, so I started saying nonsense. Anyways.
Oh my head.
Hey, Derek. Quick question though.
Yeah.
It's a little off topic, but how do you not have Austin's laugh as a soundbite for your streaming?
Well, you know what, Brooks?
The fucking white chicks.
I need to. Yes. I need to actually. Yeah. He's got a stupid laugh. But yeah, so I think
just got a stupid face. And
he does. He does have an infectious laugh. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Fucking high pitched clown laugh.
I can just imagine you being like, yeah, there it is. But I could just imagine you being like, "Wow, dude, that was funny," and then playing it, and you're just staring at the
Well, I have Jake. I know you know, but I have sidearms giggle. I have a Giggle Arms fucking compilation that I play. Shit's fucking hilarious. But
fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think this show could honestly go on for like 8 seasons or however fucking long, even if it's only like a 4 to 5 season series, because of how they write it. I'm wondering if they're gonna pull a Walking Dead. How Walking Dead was 6 episodes first season, next season was like 16. Like I'm wondering if they're doing the short so that way they know. Let's see if people like it before we throw out 25 and they're like, "Oh, this is shit." Or is it been confirmed that it's less episodes?
I have not. I just know that they've signed, but I didn't see how many episodes were each season. But that's one complaint that I do not have, is because it did not feel like 8 episodes.
Right.
Like
no,
some of the Marvel series that have been coming out for Disney Plus feel like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yes.
Like where it's either crammed or rushed, and they don't really have enough time to fully fledge out the story. Bro, this one felt like it was a movie. Like a movie. Like it felt like a complete story. Like this is Avengers 1, and you saw like the hint of Thanos coming and shit, and you're just ready to see the rest. Rather than it being like, okay, let's get through this episode and this one so we can get to the finale, see what happens. Hopefully next season's just as good. Doesn't leave on a cliffhanger. Well, it does, but not as much of a cliffhanger as most shows do, where it's like, oh, you won't know shit until next season, then we're going to spend 4 episodes dealing with this before we get to the next shit. Because you know whatever happens next is going to be the shit. Shit will hit the fan first episode, just like it did in this season.
Yep.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
think the tempo is going to have a lot to do with it too, on how many seasons they have. Because if it hits the ground running like it did this season, it's going to be quick. It's going to be a quick 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Because the 20
I
minutes.
just hope they didn't blow their load like giggity. I hope they didn't blow their. I hope they didn't blow all of their load from this first season because they've already depicted Omni-Man to be like God.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen. But if it's like anything where like the fucking lion superhuman thing seems like he's Omni-Man-esque, like maybe Omni-Man really isn't like the Viltrumites, whatever the fuck they're called. Maybe the Viltrumites really aren't the most powerful out there. Yikes!
And like we were hinting at the idea of maybe he's just one of the weak ones. It could be because like humanity got to him so much that he's weaker than he would be.
Made him weaker. Yeah.
Yeah. So then when he gets back or does all this, they're like, "Oh, your time around humans has weakened you, brother," and shit like that. And then like they hint at the idea of them trying to kill him or them executing the weak again. So that would be kind of an interesting way to see them play it out. And bro, I'm scared if that lion mace guy comes back.
Dude.
I'm not looking in the corner camera at Austin, but
fuck him.
So but like that's probably the scariest guy besides Omni-Man that I can think about.
Yeah.
Showing back up because I've seen what he can do pretty much with ease. And he in that scene looked like Omni-Man in every other scene that Omni-Man's fucking shit up in. He was untouchable. He killed anything that kind of fucked with him and got in his way. He would have killed more if he didn't leave, and kind of just mic dropped and stopped himself rather than anything else. So honestly, just a 1v1. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Just 1v1 for the planet and everyone else just leave.
Omni-Man.
Yeah. All right.
1v1 me on Earth, pussy.
So, any other final thoughts on Invincible season 1?
Invincible season 1.
Great show. Great show. Can't wait for the rest.
I couldn't tell if that was Austin's reaction or him just saying, like, with Brooks cutting him off. Awesome. Cool.
Good.
Fucking sweet. I wasn't talking.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, it was good. I can't wait for it to, come back out for more seasons. I wanted to take my money, even though it's free technically right now with my subscription. I'll pay for it. So, yeah, it's good. Fucking... Shit!
Cheers!
What's up, bro?
Someone want to end it?
Oh, fucking Cinder, bud.